Okay, next up we have Albert Meyer, who's going to do some stand-up for you guys. Albert is on the systems team in GYB, and he's one of the guys that keeps HBL running. Albert, sorry, are you? There you go. So everyone, he was performing last year's talent show. He's back for more. Everyone, Albert Meyer.
Hi. Hey. Yo. If you were here last year, you remember that I came up here to do stand-up comedy and didn't prepare anything to say. And that worked out really well. I was trying to frighten myself to experiment with fear and find out if fear was actually the same thing as excitement. Turns out it is. And after I did that, I had some side effects. It turns out that when you make yourself afraid and look at what fear is, then you kind of stop being afraid of things. And the first symptom of that was when I went out and bought a motorcycle. I hadn't ridden for 20 years, but not too long after that, I went out and got one. And then a week or two after that, I was bicycle riding with my son. And he's 18, I think he was 17 at the time. And he's a really strong kid, and I have to go really hard to keep up with him. And we're going down University Hill in Hayward. And it had been raining a little bit. And there's a sign on University Hill, and it flashes if you're going over 35. If you're doing under 35, it tells you your speed, but if you're going over 35, it just flashes slow down. Well, we're coming down the hill, and the sign is flashing slow down, and I'm on the inside lane, and he's on the outside lane, and I'm catching up to him, and my bike started sliding. My back wheel slides out a little bit, and the front wheel slides out a little, and I was just kind of trying to keep it from going out one way or the other, and then I was kind of getting close to the curb, and I didn't get to the curb, and it stopped sliding, and everything was fine. And we get down to the bottom of the hill, and I tell Denny what happened, and he's like, "Oh wow, were you afraid?" And I thought about it, and I'm like, no, I wasn't really afraid, I was just excited. And I realized that could be kind of a problem, you know, when you're in physical danger, you probably should be afraid. And so I've kind of taken back a little bit of my fear. And it worked out so good doing it last year that I wanted to do it again. And I realized that if I just did the same thing again, it wouldn't really work. Because I already did it, you know, if I did it again, I wouldn't be afraid. So I'm thinking, what can I do to make myself afraid? You know, what's worse than going up in front of a big group of people with nothing to say? And what I came up with is, if you get up in front of a big group of people and announce that you're a total failure, then that would be worse. So all I needed was a failure. Fortunately, I was able to achieve a total failure, and I'm here to tell you about it. I actually was going to do 2 acts this show. My other act was a musical act. I was going to get me and several of my managers up here on the stage, and I was going to get my managers to dress up all funny and act all crazy. And I thought it would be really cool because I would be kind of managing my managers. I've never managed anything before, but I figured I would give it a try. So I asked my managers, I asked 5 different managers if they would do this, and they all said yes. And then I asked some people if they would be costume designers and instrument designers and help out various other ways, and they all said yes. And I'm like, wow, this management thing is easy, you know? You ask people to do stuff, and they say okay, and you're done, right? Well, it turns out there's these things called excuses. And on the first rehearsal, I get to the rehearsal room, and there's me and Angus and 1 costume designer, and everyone else has an excuse. So we gave up, and I want to give props to my costume designer, Jason, because even after everyone quit and there was no hope of going forward, he was still encouraging me to go ahead. But it was just another complete failure. And that's what I'm here to tell you about. And I don't think I've used up my 5 minutes yet. You guys should sing a song. You guys want to hear a song? Okay, how about Ring of Fire? Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher, and it burned, burned, burned. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. The taste of love is sweet in hearts like ours made. I fell for you like a child. Oh, but the fire went wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher, and it burned, burned, burned. The ring of fire, the ring of fire, and it burned, burned, burned. The ring of fire, the ring of fire.
That was Albert Meyer. Let's give him a hand. My son, I was sitting with my son. My son just asked me if we could go home now. I'm sorry that we can't. I have a little bit of thing to do, and then we go. Okay.